Hey guys, I'm Jay. Today is my LeetCode review vlog on the 25th problem, reverse nodes in K group. We are given the head of a linked list. We have to reverse the nodes of the list K at a time and return the modified list. K is a positive integer and is less than or equal to the length of the linked list. If the number of nodes is not a multiple of K, then leave out nodes in the end should remain as is. We may not alter the values in the list nodes. Only nodes themselves may be changed. Let's example 1 here to understand it easily. We got input linked list 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and for the top 2 nodes we have to change their position. So 2 to here and 1 to here. And for 3 and 4 we also have to change their positions, so 4 to here and 3 to here. And for the final node 5, the number of remaining nodes is only 1, which is not a multiple of K, which is 2, so we'll keep the original position of node 5. And the final output is 2, 1, 4, 3, 5. Then let's get started with the intuition to solve the problem. And the keyword is iterative approach. And there are 3 main steps to solve the problem. And for the very first step, we'll traverse the linked list to identify groups of K nodes. But if the number of nodes remaining is less than K, we just ignore it, which means we'll keep their original positions. And for the step 2, we have to reverse the nodes within each group. And after the reversal of each group of K nodes, we also have to reconnect the reverse groups with the rest of the list. And we'll continue this iteration to the end of the linked list. Then, let's get started with our intuition to solve the problem. So the very first step, we have to handle 2 edge cases, which is head equals now or K is equal to 1. For these 2 cases, we just return the original head as we don't have to change anything. And for the second step, we'll create a dummy node to help us handle edge cases easily. Let's say node dummy equals new node. And let's assign a 0 to it. Next, we'll create several variables to help us solve the problem. First, we have to make the dummy node points to the head node. And we'll create 4 variables. First, we'll create 3 nodes. Let's say current started at dummy, and let's copy the code. And also next pointer started at dummy and previous node started at dummy, and we also create a count at 0. Then we'll create a while loop to traverse the list to count the total number of nodes and update the count variable. While current dot next is not equal to now. Then we just update current equals current dot next and increment count variable. And out of the while loop, we have to check how many K groups remaining to do the reversal. So we have to create a while loop. Let's say count is bigger than or equal to K. If so, we'll continue the while loop to do reversal. And inside the while loop, first we have to update the current variable at each iteration. Let's say current equals previous dot next, which is the first node in the new K group. And we also have to update the next node. which is next node equals current dot next. And the new next node is the node following the first node in the K group. And then, for each group of K nodes, we have to reverse the K nodes within the group using a nested loop. And all we're gonna do is create another for loop. Let's say for int I starting at 1 and I should be less than K and increment I after each iteration inside a nested for loop. And there are 4 detailed steps we have to do. The very first step, we have to point the current node to the node after the next node, which is to connect the reverse groups to the latter part of the list. So the code is current.next equals next node.next. And for the second step, we have to move the next node to the front of the K group, which is previous node.next equals next node. And for the third step, we have to point, I typed something wrong here. For the second step, we have to move the next node to the front of the K node. So the code is next.next equals previous node.next. And for the third node is previous.next equals next. This is because we have to point the previous node to the next node to connect the former part of the list to the new reverse group. And for the final step, we have to update the next node to the subsequent node after the K groups, which will be reversed in the following. We have to update the next node to the subsequent node, which will be reversed in the following iteration. So the code is next equals current.next. And out of for loop, we have to update the previous node, which is previous equals current node. And this means we moved the previous node to the end of the reversed K group. Current.next. It is not current.next. Previous just equals current. And also we have to update the count variable, which is we have to make it subtract the value of K. And out of the while loop, we just return the next node of the dummy node. And this is because the next node of the dummy node, it is a new head of the reverse list. Return dummy node.next. And the dummy node is very useful because there is a possibility that the first node, the head node, could be reversed during the reversal. So dummy node could make it more general and easy to handle these different situations. And yes, our code got accepted. Then let's analyze our time and space complexity. So the time complexity is big O of n, and n stands for the number of nodes in the linked list. This is because we traverse the list for about twice. And first is to count nodes, and then we have to reverse nodes in groups of K. And for the space complexity, it is big O of 1 because we create several variables, but the number of the variables are constant, which is not related to the size of the input list. And thank you guys for watching. This is the end of my LeetCode review vlog on the reverse nodes in K group problem. And I highly recommend you guys to visit my online GitHub page here. You can see all the nodes for top 150 LeetCode problems For each problem, you can see problem description, intuition, Java code with detailed annotations, and the final time and space complexity analysis. You can also visit my GitHub repository here, which contains the codes and notes to build the online GitHub page here. And thank you guys for watching again, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.